All right, we can use the law of sines and cosines to find the measure of things that we might ordinarily not be able to measure physically, like with a tape measure or ruler or whatever, and we call that indirect measurement. So let's look at this little word problem here. It says at 10 feet away from the base of a tree, the angle the top of a tree makes with the ground is 61 degrees. If the tree grows at an angle of 78 degrees with respect to the ground, how tall is the tree to the nearest foot? Oh, me. Well, I'm going to need to draw some kind of sketch of this thing. Now, I'm not an artist, so I'm not going to draw a real pretty tree. So I'm just going to be drawing lines and things of that nature so I can get some kind of visualization as to what I'm actually trying to solve here. So first thing, at 10 feet from the base of a tree. So let's say I got a tree, and from the base of the tree out here is 10 feet. Now, the angle the top of a tree makes with respect to the ground is 61 degrees. So from the top of this tree down to the ground is 61 degrees. And if the tree draws at an angle of 78 degrees with respect to the ground, how tall is the tree? So I got a tree growing at an angle of 78 degrees from the ground. So it's not straight up and down, is it? It's got kind of an angle here. So I'm going up here to the top of the tree. And this angle is 78 degrees. And I'm asked to find how tall is this tree. And so this is my tree over here. So I'm asked to find X. All right. Well, I know here at the ground, but I don't know that angle there. If I knew that angle there, so I got angle, side, angle. Or I got angle, angle, side. So this is making me think maybe I can use the law of sines on this thing to find how tall this tree is. But I don't know this angle here, or do I? I could. What if I said 180 minus 61 minus 78 is going to equal that angle at the top of the tree? So let me see here. What do we got here? 180 minus 61 minus 78. Well, that equals 41. So that means that this angle is 41 degrees. Okay, so now I've got an angle and a side opposite. Angle, side opposite. And then I got an angle down here and a side opposite. And I can set this up using the law of sines. So let's see, I got the sine of 41 over 10, and that equals the sine of 61 over x. So we do a little cross multiplication. I got x times the sine of 41 equals 10 times the sine of 61. And to isolate the x, how tall the tree is, I can divide both sides by the sine of 41. And when I do, I've got the sine of 61, 10 times the sine of 61, times the sine of 41. And that should give me an approximate measure to the nearest foot of how tall that tree is. Let's see if this is true. So let's see, 10 times the sine of 61, and then divided by the sine of 41, and that comes to 13.33. So this tree must be approximately 13 feet. Man, that is so cool. I can find out how tall a tree is. Got to know the angles. I'm not sure how I'm going to know that, but hey, at least they gave it to me, and I can solve it. I can do it using indirect measurement and the law of sines.